Good morning. It's Kirsten Liebelt. Good to see you. How are you doing? Jump on in. It is Tuesday. We are going to dive into sabotaging your weight loss. How you guys doing? Good to see you. So I'm trying to fix my lighting these days. So we're going to switch my little setup a little different. I got to work on stuff. This weekend I went to Best Buy and I'm trying to figure out lighting and all sorts of stuff. And anyway, it's all fine. It's all good. So let's see here. What do I have for housekeeping? November 1st is coming up rather quickly. And I'm sorry. I didn't mean to remind you of that. Oh, man. So it's coming up quickly, but I wanted to remind you guys, for anybody who is, good morning, Cheryl, who is doing the 10-day gut reset. See, my lighting on Instagram is just trash right now, and I don't know how to fix it. Okay. 10-day reset. So we were taking the gut primer and we were doing 10-day resets for anybody who wanted to trial the product, October 1 through 10, November 1 through 10, December 1 through 10. And so a lot of you have done October 1 through 10, and some of you have said, screw the 10-day. I'm doing it all 30 days. I'm just going to keep on going because it has shifted something in me and I like it. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Who's on here? Cheryl jumped over. Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl. You're amazing. And then some people are like, no, I want to just stick with the 10-day, 10-day, 10-day and see what I can do. The reason why is because out of one gut reset, oopsie, I need to move my... on Facebook. There we go. I needed to get my thing closer to me. Good morning. Present and accounted for, Carla. The gut primer, you can get 3 10-day resets out of it so you can trial it for yourself. Okay. Anyway, I say that just to say, in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, we'll do another 10 days of focusing on gut starting November 1st. So don't miss out on that. I have not set a date yet for the November challenge, the 5-day challenge that's coming up. I was looking at my calendar and I'm like, ooh, because I'm traveling a couple of times in November. So I have to figure that out, but we will. And then last night we did the self-sabotage no more in the group we do that on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's such a good book, you guys. It's so helpful to begin to have conversations and assess things inside of your own head so you can stop sabotaging yourself. And I realize as this is the second time I'm going through the book, but I realize that God kind of walked me through this whole journey before this book came along. And so then when the book came out in 2022, it was confirmation for me for things that I had already done inside of my own head. And that's just assessing things of why certain things bother you. If, certain foods, why you emotionally, I'm not talking about physically, if you go to a social setting and maybe you realize that nothing that they have offered is something that you are choosing to eat right now. And you're super bothered by it, or maybe you don't have something in the house or whatever it is, or maybe you're feeling super restricted and asking yourself the questions of so where did that come from? Why did I feel that way just now? And so much of this, you guys, is from our childhood, things that were said to us, things that were maybe looks that we were given or whatever. So anyway, that has been super beneficial. And so I just wanted you to know that. And the last thing before I jump into this topic today, you guys are all so freaking amazing. And I am so grateful for you. And when people choose to shop through my business, you guys, I'm so blessed. I'm so incredibly blessed. Now, I do notice though that some people, because when you go on Kohl's, you just check out as a guest. I do that all the time. I don't even know the last time that I gave Kohl's my information. I'm sure that I have, but we're fast, right? We're fast and we're doing things quickly. But when you check out as a guest, you're probably not getting the good shipping. So I want you to know that, okay? You're not getting the good shipping, and because you need to be registered with your name. So go to the top of my site. There's a person icon. Register with your name so that you can get the good shipping when you're ordering through me, okay? How does that sound? And then I'll also send you a note and stuff like that. So, but there we go. Good morning, Magda. Good to see you. I just wanted people to know that because I'm oh my gosh, you guys, you bless me. You bless me so much. But I'm you're probably not getting the good shipping. So, all right, here we go. Thank you, Cheryl, so much for liking my live, because again, you're doing the work of the Lord. On TikTok, you have to tap, 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 and keep things going. Okay. So I was looking at one of my reels this morning on my Facebook business page, and I just noticed that so many people, there's a lot of confusion when it comes to food, etc. And I just really want to, I want to adjust that light so badly, but I think I'm going to mess it up if I do. And there's a lot of noise out there, right? There's a lot of like, the reason why was because it was literally a reel about beans. Okay. And I did this reel and somebody said, wait a second, like I heard that beans were helpful for insulin resistance. How can this now be that it's not? And da, 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 da. And I'm so confused now more than ever in all of these things. And I'm like, yeah, I really feel you. Like this is the way that it is. Good morning, Kimberly. Good morning. And I know that it's frustrating. And so I know that Maria Emmerich also, like in her content, she's always trying to get across to people, like if you're buying a bunch of keto prepackaged foods or whatever, like you're probably sabotaging yourself big time. It's more than that, right? But that's one of the pieces. And so I thought, okay, let's do this. Let's chat about maybe how your weight has stalled and you are thinking like, well, wait a second, like I went keto. Why is this not working for me? I will say that I've had people who they have gone keto and then they stalled out and then they jumped on the trio and it moved for them. Okay. Quite considerably. Because it jump started the body because the trio, which are the 3 supplements that help with insulin sensitivity, it's part of that is filling in nutritional deficiencies. So when you do that, it reignites your engine again. That's why this happens. And so, and I will also say for anybody who is on the trio, if you, and I don't mean to confuse people, but I'm just going to tell you quickly and then I'll move on because I don't want to take time to confuse people. If you, because it's already been asked to me and I think you're right on track. And I think it was Cheryl maybe that asked me, good morning, Claudette. The blood orange does cross over a tiny bit with the slimetry. However, you can do both. Okay. And the only reason why it crosses over is because of the visceral belly fat. However, one is more of a burner, one is more metabolism. So you can do both. But that blood orange, in my opinion, if I had to choose one or the other, I'd choose the blood orange because it's a thermogenic and it's really gaining a lot of really amazing results right now. Like I got to get my hands on before and afters from people, my friends, not just something from corporate or anything like that, but my actual friends. I need to get before and afters. But anyway, until then, I just want to give you guys information as I get it. So things that seem keto, but they really aren't, and it can be really stalling people's weight loss. And so keto it took me a very long time to talk about keto online. I just didn't want to jump into the mud pile, so to speak, because there's so much misinformation and there's so much frustration inside of the whole thing. And so you have no idea how many people will come to me and say, but I've tried keto. And I just want to say, you probably haven't tried Maria Emmerich keto. You probably haven't tried somebody who's really scientifically talking about how to use keto for weight loss, as opposed to keto that was developed for epilepsy, which is, which is high fat instead of high protein. And then you probably haven't given yourself enough of a permission of a journey to actually work on tweaking enough for yourself. Because don't you agree? Wouldn't you agree that your body is probably different than my body? Wouldn't you agree that we probably have different factors going on? Like for instance, like you might be on, scripts for medication. Whereas, currently I am not, I don't plan on it, but I'm just saying, okay, good to know. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, Carol. So I froze for Claudette, but Kimberly says you're good. I'm good. Okay. Thank you, Kimberly. You are on it, girlfriend. I appreciate that so much. That fast feedback on that helps me a lot. And so there are so many different factors that can go into somebody's universe. Let's just say that. I mean, honestly, somebody could have had 3 surgeries and they have all of this anesthesia that needs to like clear their body and do all of these things. And somebody else has no surgeries to slow down anything. So think about your own internal engine and how many factors there are. So you have to be willing, in my opinion, to give yourself permission, give yourself the gift of a journey, the gift of a journey. You have to. Yay, Claudette. Good to see that. Good. I'm glad. Because if you are requiring your body to go fast, number one, you might self-sabotage. Number two, you're going to be frustrated. And number three, like the time was going to pass anyway. That's actually, so I wore my hat this morning. Be defiant. Be defiant to your own habits, to your own routines, to your own old thought processes about how to lose weight, etc. Be defiant against requiring your body to have a time clock. Be defiant against your mindless habits. We all have them, where we want to be able to mindlessly eat, or we want to be able to mindlessly, whatever, go grocery shopping or whatever it is. Trust me, I get all of this. I am not a confused woman. I come to you with all of it on the table. Come to you with all of it. So whole food and sometimes repetitive, but great food. That's right, Jacqueline. That is right. So good. So when we talk about keto, etc., I always talk about it like this. I've actually, like, in terms of, like, we don't even have to talk keto in terms of, Maria Emmerich doesn't even teach chasing ketosis. She teaches high protein, moderate good fat, and low carb. Okay. But here are some tweaks or some thought processes. Maybe this will help you a little bit to streamline a tiny, or to just make it more clear. Let's see if we can, like, scrub the mud a little bit. Intentional. Yes. To be so intentional. And it takes time to learn that as a habit, you guys. Don't be so dang hard on yourselves. You have to stop being unkind to yourself and your mind. Remember, what's easy? This is easy. Supplementing for insulin resistance, that is easy. Changing out your mindset, or like we learned last night in the book, Self-Sabotage No More. That's by Jenny Potter, by the way. Anybody can go to Amazon and grab that. We have fixed mindsets that we learned a long time ago, and really our subconscious is trying to keep us safe. And so we just keep on defaulting to things that make us feel a certain way. And so by getting rid of some of those connections, we can actually, like, shift what we're believing or taking action on. When I talk about keto or eating for insulin resistance, I talk about grain-free, because you want to stop spiking your sugars, sugar-free, because you want to stop spiking your sugars, legume-free, because you want to stop spiking your sugars, and then you're using real food as much as humanly possible, right? So meat, eggs, full-fat dairy, non-starchy vegetables, berries for fruit, and then nuts like an almond flour in replacing, like, a white flour. So a great example of that would be learning how to make the keto blueberry lemon bars that we made, the cheesecake bars, in the group in August, because then you could make that and have that available for you or to bring to other people's homes for Christmas time. Okay. But number one of the things that people think might be keto or helpful and isn't would be beans. Now, green beans are the exception. But otherwise, it says, like, while beans like black beans, kidney beans, and chickpeas are high in protein and fiber, they're also high in carbs. Really high, actually. Even small servings can spike blood sugar levels, making them unsuitable for strict keto. So if you've been, like, maybe kind of like where I was treating myself with sweet potato fries at Red Robin, you might be, maybe you're allowing something on, like a certain day of the week, or you're allowing because you've been doing such a good job and you're treating yourself. Well, that's kind of where I was, and it was really stalling me out bad. Keto packaged foods would be number two. Many packaged snacks that are labeled as keto contain hidden sugars, fillers, or starches. Ingredients like tapioca starch or even hidden forms of sugar can derail ketosis. But again, we're not chasing ketosis. I just want you to be aware. Always check the labels for the carbs and the ingredient quality. So you just never know what you might see in some of these keto products. There are a handful that are decent, but it's a pretty small handful. So if you just assume most are not okay, then you're probably going to be on the right track. So anytime you pick up a protein bar or a bag of keto cereal or Keto granola. There's a good one at Costco for sure. But I do want to caution you and tell you that even if you grab a keto granola and let's say it's good, but it has it has a bunch of unsweetened coconut and a bunch of sliced almonds and a bunch of pecans, and because that's what it's going to be, and it's going to taste amazing. There's no question. It could still really make sure you're paying attention to serving size because you could overeat that. Okay, I could overeat that all day, freaking every day. Because that's my jam. That's my wheelhouse. I just want to sit and mindlessly eat and snack on something, especially if it's sweet. That's what I want to do. So if you're kind of like me in that arena, that might be another piece of your puzzle. It's going to taste so good, right? But then there are things that are not as helpful. So maybe you buy Rebel ice cream, which is pretty decent if I'm not mistaken. But instead of that, you buy Breyer's Carb Smart. Look at those ingredients because I'm telling you what, those types of mistakes can be super frustrating. Okay. So any kind of keto snacks like that. Another one would be agave nectar. So agave nectar is said to have a low glycemic index, but the truth is that it really spikes your sugars. So a glycemic index is just telling you how long it's taking to spike your sugar. It's not telling you that it's not spiking your sugar. Does that make sense? Does that resonate with anybody? It's not saying that it doesn't. It's just saying it's going to take it a little longer than the average spike. That still, for insulin resistance, doesn't work. You are keeping yourself out of fat burning consistently. And how frustrated are you if you're staying out of fat burning? Isn't that your goal? I don't know. It's my goal. So I'm thinking that it might be your goal too. Remember, your body prefers glucose for fuel. Give me all the glucose. Give me all the glucose. Your insulin wants to grab your glucose and take it into your cells. That's what it wants to do all day, every day, whether it's a little tiny bit of glucose or it's a lot of glucose. It wants to shuttle it into your cell. Well, if it can't do that, or because if there's too much, it can't get to all of that extra sugar is going to be turned to fat. But if you starve it of that glucose, its preferred fuel source, your body will go, okay, fine, I'll start burning fat. And it will. And you will have your body composition. You won't just lose weight as though you took a drape, like a heavy drape, and just dropped it to the ground and it goes and it deflates. Your body composition will actually change because of where you're losing fat. So if you can stay in that fat burning zone longer, just having a little bit of agave nectar will throw you out of fat burning because it's straight glucose. And your body will go, gobble, gobble. I'm going to use that for fuel. I hope that makes sense. So hold on. I'm going to look here and just see. Though marketed as a healthier alternative to sugar, agave nectar is high in fructose, which raises insulin levels and is not suitable for a keto lifestyle. It's better to stick to natural keto sweeteners like stevia, monk fruit, or allulose. And remember, allulose, even though it's only 70% as sweet as sugar, studies are showing that it's actually lowering blood sugar, you guys. That's phenomenal. What is that all about? I don't even have a scientific answer for you. It's just happening. So that's a really good thing to know. So then I'll take a liquid stevia. I had one this morning. A liquid stevia. I like the caramel. And I'll squirt that and I'll boost the sweetness of whatever I'm making because the allulose is a little flat on the sweetening side, but yet it's what makes our bread brown when we're making egg white bread, etc. You are a nut addict. Yes. Me too, Magda. Serving size is a 1/4 cup. How many servings per day before it will stall weight loss? That's a good question, Magda. I think you have to play with it for yourself. It's really about how many carbs are in that cup, in that 1/4 cup. I know. And the other thing too is that I will tell you, so the conversation that I had with my friend this last weekend, she was using the glucose product from the trio. And when she would have something that had extra carbs in it like that, she would take more than one glucose health at the time she was eating. And so she would take, like, her story is a little different than you, my audience. However, she was using it for her purposes. And so because she's not grain free, she would use it in conjunction with things that were higher carb as opposed to carb blocker. This is just a very interesting study. And so it's for whoever hears this. If you have ears to hear and this is for you, great. And if not, disregard it. She would take 2 or 3 glucose health at the time that she would sit down and eat something with higher carb like that. And she was extraordinarily diligent, eating a very clean diet in terms of no processed foods. But she lost like 40 pounds in a couple months. So, because she was really pushing those sugars and that insulin down. So you could try to offset something like that, Magda, with extra of the glucose product and see what happens. That's just a little inside tip because I just had this conversation with her. So that is the agave nectar. Number 4 is keto bread. This is a big one because everybody wants, like, oh my gosh, don't take away my bread. And they don't want to lose their bread, and I don't blame you, but there is no such thing as keto bread if it's grain. There's keto egg white bread, but otherwise they're just lying to you. Grain is not keto, okay? Some keto bread options contain wheat gluten, added sugars, or high carb fillers. While they are marketed as low carb, many brands include hidden ingredients that can add carbs to your daily total. It's essential to check labels carefully. Number 5 is certain dairy products. While dairy can be a keto staple, and it kind of is for a lot of us, right? Some products like sweetened yogurt, flavored creamers, and certain cheeses can sneak in carbs through added sugars. So just be a label reader. If you're going to have Greek yogurt, get a nice high-fat Fage, unsweetened, sweeten it yourself, etc. Okay? Number 6 was vegetable chips. This is very interesting. What are you saying, Kimberly? You know, for fruit, it's berries, but can we eat too much, say, strawberries daily because of the natural sugar? Yeah. Well, just again, go look at the carbs. So look up strawberries, carbs per cup, and find out for yourself. And remember, when you're really trying to tweak and lose weight, 20 to 30, and I'll talk about this in just a second, 20 to 30 whole carbs, not net carbs, and I'll tell you why in just a second, a day. Like, it feels really low. And when you're entering that, you're like, how can this possibly be? There's no way I can accomplish this, but it's really not that hard. Once you start to, it takes a handful of tools in your toolbox. It does not take a lot. It just takes a little bit of reimagining how to create things, like deconstructing your food and then recreating it. Okay. That's what that takes. So yeah, you're welcome, Magda. So number 6 is vegetable chips. Okay, you guys, they're so bad. Those vegetable, like French fries that you can get at Costco in that big bag. I could binge on those. You're welcome, Kimberly. I love those things. However, chips made from sweet potatoes, beets, or even root vegetables may appear healthy. They're really, really high in carbs, and it's usually potato starch too. Stick to vegetable snacks like kale chips or zucchini chips made at home. 100%. You can't buy stuff like that that's prepackaged and think that that's healthy for you, or that those are going to be you have to look at the carb. You have to look at the carbs, and that will absolutely keep you on a cycle of craving. You had a weakness for sweet potato chips. Ugh. I know. I get it. I so understand. I am not confused at all. And then the last one here is condiments and sauces. Another secret area that we get really, it's shifty, people. Many store-bought condiments like barbecue sauce, ketchup, and salad dressings contain added sugars. Always opt for sugar-free or make your own versions at home. That is just, it's almost impossible to go out to eat and order the Chick-fil-A sauce or a barbecue sauce, and it's not going to have sugar or seed oils in it. You have to choose things like, so if I go out and I eat wings, I'll buy I'll get dry rub. And you have to be careful, of course, because you're going to want the dry rub that doesn't have sugar on it, maybe Parmesan or something. That would be probably a better choice. But if you do a dry rub and, a ranch dressing, which again, their ranch dressing is going to have seed oil in it. You're not going to get away from that. But that's why we love our liver. Remember yesterday, love your liver, because we do things like this, right? But on the other hand, there's no way somebody's making a barbecue sauce and it doesn't have sugar in it. You know that already. But when you go to the store, you can find, and when I did my pantry or my fridge reveal, like in this last challenge that we did, Heinz has a decent ketchup that is no sugar added, and it's pretty good. And then there's Primal Kitchen. That's another really good condiment company that you could get stuff from. And so there are options. You just have to find them. But once you find them, once you identify them, then those become what you buy regularly, not what you were buying. It really is a pretty easy trade out on those. Okay. So let me just go down here. Why do we not do net carbs? I know this is a huge conversation inside of the keto community, but I want to tell you why we don't and why it might be like stalling you out big time, because everybody wants to market to you on every single package. Net carbs, net carbs, net carbs. Have you seen this? Yep. And it's like really, really frustrating. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. I just want to make sure. Okay, I think I'm good. And so this is kind of the whole thing. So I definitely follow Maria Emmerich on this as well. She talks about the whole carb approach instead of counting net carbs. And number one, it is better control over your carbohydrate intake. Like, you're just going to get better answers at the end of any given day if you are counting whole carbs and not messing around with that whole net carb BS, because that is really messing people up a lot. By counting total carbs instead of net carbs, which they kind of do this, they take the carbs and then they subtract fiber and sugar alcohols. And there are, like, if you are eating something that has allulose in it and then it says it has carbs, there is reason to eliminate that, because none of that is absorbed into your system. But that's a very rare conversation to have. But for the most part, somebody's looking at a package of something and they're going, okay, carbs minus fiber minus, that's where we are getting into trouble. So subtracting fiber, you get a more accurate picture of your carb consumption. This reduces the risk of accidentally overeating carbs, especially since many net carb foods can still have a significant impact on blood sugar. Okay. Number two, avoids processed and packaged foods. Net carb counting often leads people to rely on highly processed keto products that subtract sugar, alcohols, or fiber to reduce the carb count. Though these processed foods can contain hidden sugars, inflammatory ingredients, or low quality fiber that can disrupt ketosis. Again, I know we're not chasing ketosis, but the point is that it can disrupt. How about if we say it this way? It can disrupt your body choosing to burn fat instead of glucose for fuel. How does that sound? Focusing on whole carbs encourages a cleaner, whole foods-based keto diet. And it makes your life so much easier. When you get off the fence that you're straddling, I am telling you, like, it's almost like a weight gets lifted off of you and you have mental clarity for days. You have more energy in your brain. You have more brain space. It does make a huge difference. I know it's confusing. I know it can be. Number three, stable blood sugar and insulin levels. Counting total carbs helps maintain steady blood sugar and insulin levels, which is especially important for people with insulin resistance or metabolic dysfunction. Even though fiber and sugar alcohols don't spike blood sugar as much, they can still have an effect, especially in larger quantities. Number four, increased fat adaptation, just like what we just mentioned. Sticking to whole carbs without the net concept allows your body to stay in a fat burning state more consistently. You are less likely to experience stalls or plateaus in weight loss or fat adaptation, as it keeps your carbohydrate intake at a minimum. And the last one is it simplifies the diet. Counting total carbs simplifies the keto lifestyle, making it easier to stick to nutrient-dense, unprocessed foods. You don't have to do the mental math of subtracting fiber and sugar alcohols, which can sometimes be confusing or misleading. And that is 100% true. In summary, the whole carb approach provides a more honest, clean, and sustainable path, especially for those looking to maximize health benefits without relying on processed low-carb products. It also keeps you more in tune with real foods and promotes a more nutrient-rich diet. And I would add in, it keeps more money in your pocket to put towards other things. So I'm not buying keto protein bars or keto bread or keto cereal or keto snacks. I'm trying to think of all the things. There are keto cake mixes and keto brownie mixes, and there's keto everything. I literally buy none of that. Occasionally, I will buy a keto granola if I'm going on a business trip and I want to have something in my purse. Occasionally, I will do this. But I know I'm going to overeat it. I kind of go in knowing that I'm going to snack on it too much and it's probably going to stall me out. Okay, whatever. But at least I know what I'm in for. Okay. So for the most part, though, in my budget, in my weekly budget, I am not buying keto products. So therefore, instead, I put wild caught shrimp in my freezer, which was like $10 for a bag. Not bad. It'll be perfect serving for my husband and I forget, like, if it's 50 shrimp in there, the 50 is not that much when they're medium size, whatever. And I'll take a spaghetti squash. I just bought a spaghetti squash. I'll chop it up. I'll put it in my Instant Pot on like 4 minutes. I'll take out the seeds and put it in my Instant Pot on manual for 4 minutes. And I will cook that puppy and I'll scrape it out. I'll take a frying pan and I'll put some butter in there with a little bit of cream cheese and a little bit of cream and real Parmesan cheese, shredded. Make a cheesy sauce. And then take my cooked shrimp. If it's raw, cook that first, obviously. Take my cooked shrimp, add it in there, and pour it over a spaghetti squash. And I am so happy, right? So, because I can buy shrimp if I'm not paying for all those other products. I mean, everybody is so indoctrinated to grab protein bars and what's the latest, Quest chips and this and that. I'm not saying that you can never do that, but I am saying just go into it knowing what you're doing. If you're doing it every day, though, you're probably really stalling out your weight loss bad. Probably are. That's just reality. So it doesn't mean, so for me, because I'm a business owner, and for sure, like every 90 days, I'm going to another business conference. I'm learning more and more, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to go sit in a conference. I'm going to travel. I'm going to sit in a conference. I'm going to take in information. I'm probably going to have snacks in my purse. I'm probably not going to eat like a normal schedule like I normally do at home. So I'm going to probably make sure that I've got something in my purse to offset what I'm doing, right? Like, if the session is going to go until 2:00 in the afternoon, and I know that I'm not going to have lunch at the same time that I normally do, I'm going to compensate for that. And I'm probably going to have nuts in my purse or in my tote, right? Like that's just thinking ahead. And there's no problem with that. There's no shame in the game. There's no shame in any of this. It's just that when you know better, you can do better, you can tweak better. And when you can tweak better and get better results, you're happy because you're like, okay, so those sweet potato fries really weren't serving me. Okay, that might be my story, but I'm just telling you, like, once you then, like, I was treating myself with sweet potato fries and I was eating a lot of dates, like the Medjool dates. OMG, I could eat an entire package of Medjool dates, but it's straight sugar. So once I understood what I was trying to accomplish, once I understood that if I bring down my sugars and stop calling on insulin and start eating things that would spike it would go like this. Boop, boop, eggs, a little bit of chicken sausage, make an egg white bread. Maybe I have a hamburger, a cheeseburger at a restaurant. We went to Five Guys the other day and I had it wrapped in lettuce, probably a little higher, just because I don't remember what they're frying them in and, whatever. I mean, who knows, right? Like, I'm trying to think if I had mayonnaise on there. I probably did. Probably a seed oil. I don't know if there was sugar in that mayonnaise. I didn't even look, but you know what I'm saying? Like, let's just assume it's going to spike a little higher. That's different than if you are constantly going, okay, well, the net carbs, and I'm just going to eat almond flour all day long. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just more. So when you tweak it and tweak it and tweak it, then occasionally you just treat yourself and you enjoy that process and you're really proud of yourself for being defiant, for making decisions for you and for your health and for how you want to feel. And if you eat anything and an hour later you're tired, that's already telling you something. You know that that was too much sugar. Okay. And it can be a natural food. It could be sweet potatoes, right? Okay. All right. I hope that helps you with that. Let me see here. And so basically, I feel like if you can have a very simple thought process of eliminating grains, all grains, I'm going to sneeze, eliminating sugar, natural sugar, and any kind of sugar. And that can come in many, many forms, many. And getting rid of beans. And I know that for my Hispanic friends or my Latino friends, that is very hard, right? Because you think that beans are good. And again, let's just wrap up by saying this. God did not make bad food. He didn't. So anytime you hear somebody going, well, that's just ridiculous that you're eliminating food groups. Well, we got ourselves into a little bit of a pickle because of the overconsumption of carbohydrates over a long period of time. We just have to turn things back around. We have to become more metabolically flexible. We are not going to be able to lose weight unless we bring down our insulin and our sugars. And as a female and you're 40 and over, dang it, that hamster wheel sucks. Round and round and round we go. And why can't I lose weight? I used to always be able to lose weight on Weight Watchers. Why can't I lose weight? I was always able to go into the gym and just like elliptical my little buns off. And I was able to like burn calories. And I'm telling you, like the best friend you ever had, this is not a calorie in, calorie out conversation. This is a hormonal issue. And insulin is a hormone. And it's the one hormone that you have to pay attention to if you actually want to finally be able to lose weight. So you have to stop spiking your sugars. That makes it so that you're calling on insulin all the time. And then when your cell is resistant and it closes the doors like this, then what happens is the insulin is going to store all of that extra glucose as fat. Fat in the inside of your knees, fat on your back, fat on your arms, fat on your belly, fat. It's going to find places all over to store your fat. And it is so dang frustrating. And so even if you have like a bariatric surgery, or if you are on an injection and you are eating in a way that is calorie deficit, but not fat burning. Hope you understand the difference between that. Absolutely. Anybody who, like, if you restrict your calories down to 500 calories a day, which is super unhealthy, and I'm not saying anybody's doing that. I'm just saying, of course, like if you stop eating, you're going to lose weight, but you're probably losing a lot of muscle weight. That's the problem. Okay. As opposed to putting your body in a position to actually burn the fat, you can actually see, I can see that you can't see me on all my socials here. You could actually see the fat diminishing pockets off of your body in certain areas. Those are the things to pay attention to because you do not want to lose your muscle mass. Women, we do not want to lose our muscle mass. Losing weight at the cost of our muscle is a really super bad idea. Okay. So losing weight could be water. It could be impacted waist. It could be muscle. But you're trying to do the one thing that is kind of the harder thing to do. And that is to get into a fat burning mode. Because if you can burn fat, now you're talking, because you're returning your body composition. Oh, I hope people can hear this. You are beginning the process to return your body composition back to your youthful self. Before there was toxic buildup, before there were fat pockets forming, before the cellulite showed up, before all of those things started to happen, before the back fat was more than your bra strap, before the inside of your knees started to look kind of goofy. So when you actually burn the real fat, man, you are in business. And then if you are burning the visceral fat around your organs, now you are in business. Burning the fat that you can't see, money. Because now you're actually taking care of your internal engine, on a completely different level. Okay. And so how do you do that? Well, for those of you that are on the trio, you're already doing that because the Slim product is helping burn visceral belly fat. If you are on the blood orange, that's the new product that launched. That is a thermogenic. It's a orange pixie stick that does not spike your sugars. I had somebody test it for me because it already tastes so good. But I had to make sure that is a burning product. Okay. And that helps with that visceral fat. But you can turn things around from literally the inside out. Inside out. That is your goal. I know we want to just see only the jean size, the shirt size, the dress size. I know that's what we want to see. But long before that happens, you really have to lift up the hood of your vehicle, your body, and you have to get your internal engine changing, shifting. You have to deal with the visceral belly fat. You have to deal with your gut. You have to deal with your liver. Yesterday, we did an entire conversation on the liver. You can go back and watch the replay on that. And if you're on Insta, I put this up here so that you can see my Insta. If you're on TikTok, I put this up here so that you guys can see that there's a portal. If you've never been on somebody's profile, like a lot of people haven't, you can go to my profile, click on my face up there somewhere. But there's an IG portal. You can it'll shuttle you over there. And because that's how you can see a replay. But the point being that once you do that, Kimberly, tell me what you mean. Carla, turning defeated into defiant. That's awesome. Kimberly, oh, it sure did. Tell me what you mean by that, because I'm not sure what I said. And if you don't remember, that's okay. But once you begin to change the way that your body functions from the inside out, you guys, I'm telling you, it is amazing how your body will function. So I was talking about, I don't know if I want to go down this rabbit hole for just a second. I'll say it super briefly. So right now, I'm waiting on a shipment to come today. I'm out of my probiotic stick and I'm out of my ashwagandha. And I'll tell you something, ashwagandha helps you with sleep, stress, and mood. And my sleep has not altered in 5 days. So I'm super grateful about that. But I'm telling you, that sense of well-being, kind of like there's this layer. I can feel that there's a layer missing. And I'm like, I want to get back on my ashwagandha. So whatever it is that's helping you, like if you're doing the gut reset and you're doing the gut primer and the probiotic, and I know that there are people on here right now actually that have said it has so shifted your ability to not be constipated that you never want to be without it, because it's just constipation can be scary. So whatever it is for you that you are fixing, that you are getting help with, there are ways that you can shift the way your body's functioning. And you're like, I'm not going back. Yeah, I won't be going back because now my body's actually running. I can feel it picked up a cylinder. I'm pretty excited about that. I'll be 60 in January. I woke up this morning and I literally laid in bed, you guys, and I know I'm not trying to overhype my own universe. I'm just trying to tell you that you actually can get to a place where you have just wellness. You feel well. You have well-being. And I woke up this morning and I was laying in bed and I just kind of rolled over and I thought, wow, I just feel so good. And you have to ask yourself, when is the last time that you even thought that? And maybe it has been recent because you've been making some changes, and I would love to know that for sure. But you can wake up and not ache, and you can just feel good inside of your body. I don't mean you feel perfect in your own skin, in the clothes that you're wearing, at the size that you're at. I get it. That takes time. But how about I just feel good. I don't feel like I've been hit by a Mack truck. I don't feel puffy. I don't feel exhausted and fatigued. I don't feel brain foggy. My body doesn't ache. Because sometimes we can feel that way. Like, that's why I don't take melatonin. I'll just be honest. I cannot take our melatonin. It's so effective. It knocks me out. And then I'm like, I wake up and I'm foggy. I do not want that feeling. I don't like it. Probably because I remember back in high school days when we chose recreational things. I don't like that feeling. That's not for me. That's for somebody else. You found all of your fat pockets. I know, right? I'm telling you, this has not been this has not been an overnight journey for me. Can I just say that? Can I be honest about that? This has not been an overnight journey for me because it took me time to assess my own universe. But when I started to have fat pockets disappear, I'm like, what? This is possible? I didn't know this was possible. But I will tell you that you can keep on tweaking until you can get to that place where you start to see your weight loss will be different than the weight loss that you did to lose 10 pounds to get into the dress for the dance all of those years ago. That was different. Could I recap the blood orange thing? Yes, I can. Trio to your rescue, Kimberly. I love that. Yes, the trio is extraordinarily helpful. So the blood orange, yes, I can. And I'll do that. I'll wrap up probably with that then, because let me just show you. I'm going to look up. I've already done a little bit more looking into this. So this is actually, it's a clinical dose of an extract is what it is. And it was just recently launched. And the results are great. And it literally has the claim on it that it will help with your BMI. So it's helping with losing fat around your waist and on your hips. It's a thermogenic. So I'll read you official information so that I don't just make stuff up, because that's not my goal. Number one, so this particular extract, and it is mixed with an L-glutamine, which is another ingredient that is very helpful for weight loss, but let's just focus on the extract. Reduction of fat accumulation. Studies suggest that the anthocyanins in the Moro blood oranges can help reduce the accumulation of fat, particularly visceral fat. That's the fat we don't want, you guys. That's the dangerous fat, right? By influencing genes related to fat storage, this can be beneficial for those struggling with belly fat. It enhances metabolism by regulating lipid metabolism. This can help your body be more efficient in burning fat for energy, supporting overall weight loss efforts. Anti-inflammatory properties. Inflammation can interfere with weight loss, especially in people with insulin resistance. The extract has anti-inflammatory effects and can help reduce the chronic inflammation often associated with obesity and metabolic dysfunction. The high antioxidant content helps fight oxidative stress, which can be another underlying factor in weight gain and insulin resistance. And some studies have also shown that the extract can improve insulin sensitivity, potentially helping to stabilize blood sugar levels. Balanced blood sugar is crucial for fat loss. It's crucial for fat loss, especially for those with insulin resistance. It's a valuable supplement. And then thermogenic ingredients. These are substances that help raise your body temperature, which can lead to increased calorie burning. Common thermogenic ingredients like this burn fat. Fat oxidation, it may contain compounds that support fat oxidation, meaning it helps the body more efficiently break down fat for energy, which is our whole goal. This is often achieved through ingredients which play a role in transporting fat to the mitochondria. That's kind of getting into the weeds. Metabolic support, antioxidants. Let me see if there's anything else. Clinical dose. And then the L-glutamine, just to let you know. So L-glutamine that it's mixed with is one of the most important amino acids for maintaining the integrity of gut lining. Helps with muscle recovery and fat loss. It's important for muscle repair and recovery, making it valuable for people who exercise. Supports fat loss, immune, and then cravings and blood sugar. So L-glutamine can help curb sugar cravings by stabilizing blood sugar levels. There you go. Well, when you use them together, they complement each other by supporting fat loss through blood sugar regulation and fat metabolism, and enhancing gut and muscle health, which are key to achieving overall metabolic balance and sustained energy levels. And the reason why it's so interesting that it is talks about muscle so much is because it's actually being put out in the sports nutrition line for people when they're working out. It's meant to be used. It's meant to be seen as a sports nutrition product, but the results do not require that. However, could probably enhance a workout then too if somebody's working out. And so that's why that's so helpful. See you later, Carla. Good to see you. Magda. Yep. There we go, Carol. Got it. Awesome. Thank you so much. You're welcome. So basically, in a nutshell, that is just saying that anybody who is looking for a shift in the way that your body is burning fat, and especially in your waist and your hips, this is definitely something to think about. I have noticed a significant narrowing of my hips. My husband has been noticing, I should have measured his love handles. And then over the weekend, I talked to so many of my friends, and I've got to get my little fingers on their before and after pictures because this is really making a difference. And although I love talking about the fat benefits, because who doesn't want to see their hips or their waist or their love handles go down? This is what we want. More than that, the fact that it's helping you with your visceral fat underneath is like primo conversation. Primo. Good morning, Anna. Good morning, beautiful Anna. And so anybody that needs to know about the blood orange product, reach out to me. Just, you can on Facebook, it'll stay there. So you could put blood orange on Facebook and I'll get you a link directly to the product. Good morning, Ellen. Good to see you. And that might be something that you end up actually, and then have a conversation with me. If you're already on the trio, maybe we'll switch something out for you. Okay. So that you don't have to add it. You can add it, but maybe you want to switch it out. Maybe you just want to try it for a month. You can see for yourself, 6-month guarantee on everything anyway. So, and then if you're on Instagram, get into my inbox after you're done with the live. You're still waiting for yours to arrive. Yay. Well, we'll see, right? Okay, Carol, I see that. I'll send you something for that. And if you're on TikTok, that's why I put this up here, you guys, now, because it makes it easier for you to understand that if you go to my profile, you can go to IG and you can portal yourself over into where there's an inbox that I can send you stuff. I can't send you clickable stuff on TikTok. The tickety talk makes it hard to do that. But there's also too, if you click on my site right there, my first last name.com, there's a number there and you can text me on there. So you can't wait for it to arrive, Darla. That is so exciting. It is really, really exciting. I'm telling you, I'm trying to just stay calm about the whole thing. And the last thing I'll say on that, and then we'll jump, is that other products that are in the marketplace that are direct competition, they've only been able to see a couple, maybe 2 months or 3 months of benefits. They've done the studies out for an entire year. So because they have so many scientists behind everything that they're doing, over 500 scientists, they have a lot of availability for people to do long-term studies. And so over an entire year, the results kept on going. that's remarkable. So it's a very exciting product to try out. Anyway, there you go. All right, you guys have such a great day. Have such a good Tuesday. I'll see you guys tomorrow on Wednesday. And if you ever need anything, please let me know. And I'd be more than happy to help you out. And I'm going to jump on for another appointment and move on with my day. And I hope you guys have such a blessed day. If you have any questions, let me know. See you later. Bye, Carol.